Oh guys, today we get to check out a knife that is damn near perfection, and that is the Erik Ochs Osprey. So when I say damn near perfection, I mean the design of this for what it's trying to be. Now, I'm letting you guys know, I'm reviewing this knife from a biased point of this isn't my style of knife that I normally carry. That being said, I can so appreciate what this is and everything that it does. So in typical Reate fashion, this is an M390 drop point style blade, almost a spear point if you line up that point with the actual pivot. It does have a fuller on either side that is really nicely done. I'm liking these fullers that are deeply cut out and wide so you can actually get in there. This is a hollow grind to the actual end of the blade, which if it wasn't, this blade stock is so damn thick coming from Reate, 150 to 160 thousandths, we'll measure it later, you wouldn't be able to get that narrow of a behind the edge. But you do have this wedge carrying massive amounts of strength from that 160 thou all the way up to the tip of that blade. So this is gonna be a little bit stabbier, but it's not gonna break the tip as much as you would think. This forward finger choil is definitely a forward finger choil that somebody like me can use. If you have a little bit thicker hands, this might not be the guy for you. My finger fits in it perfectly, but my fingers are a little bit more narrow despite having added about 25 pounds in the past year and a half. Woo! Too much info. So this kind of has this faux bolster look going on here. And actually, if you flip to the other side, it is a bolster lock. But on this side, it really doesn't remind me of a bolster. It's just kind of like a carved into the titanium diamond pattern that makes it look more like a bolster area with carbon fiber inlays. Same thing going on this side, and they actually matched it really well. And yes, I guess you can call it a bolster lock, but you know, it's kind of low. And anyways, we have this popsicle stick looking pocket clip that is fine and it works just fine, with a backspacer with a gear pattern on it that you can feel in hand actually, and it does add some traction into the meat of your palm right there. There is no milling on the inside of this, and that's okay, but for the price point that it came in, I would have really liked to see that. Now, I also understand how hard that would have been to do while having this bolster lock situation going on. But I mean, I don't know why you couldn't drill a hole through the titanium here and here. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Well, maybe not on this side with the bolster lock, but at least on this side, you could have weight relieved some of that. But that's okay. We do have a lanyard punch out going on right there, and it does go all the way through, so you guys are lucky you have somewhere to put in and pull out the tip of your actual lanyard material. A little bit of sarcasm going on there. So we do have a stainless steel insert with an over travel stop. Now, I called this perfect and I kind of nitpick some things, and I'm going to nitpick something else. When I got this, and I've heard of this on other ones, the detent was so wicked strong. It was stupid. But if you guys haven't already, I did post or will post a video of me tearing this down and actually cleaning up that detent hole and the action. I cannot thumb flick this. I can't get it. But the flipper tab feels similar to a Wii detent strength now, as opposed to the bare knuckle detent strength when you're like, son of a, and then it opens and it like slams across and your finger slides against the back and it hurts like a sumbitch. Yeah, it doesn't feel like that anymore. It actually feels pretty damn good. And the action on it, look at that. Whoop. Yes, it's on bearings, but it's pretty damn incredible as far as the action for a smaller blade goes, despite having a pretty thick blade stock. So overall, you're getting a relatively narrow, pointy style knife, but it's carrying so well, and we're gonna show that in some of the specs coming up. While I'm adjusting this, why don't you guys tell me if you prefer narrow blades or the fat blades? And when I think of a fat blade, this was my favorite fat blade. I'm not talking thickness in hand, but I'm talking tall blade face. Do you guys prefer the narrow or the tall? You don't have to answer the same as me. I prefer tall, just saying. But only the cool people like the tall blades. All right, so this is coming in at about 7.5 inches, and the blade length is coming in at about 3 1/4 with a 3-inch cutting edge. The overall weight of this guy's coming in at 311. Whoa, amber is the color. So 311 is actually pretty good despite having some thick blade stock and relatively thick titanium liners. but you can kind of get away with not having it as thin because it's a pretty narrow all-around profile. Let's check out this Gargantuan blade stock thickness. I have to be spoiled because I could have sworn this was going to be thicker. Yeah, coming in at about 120 thousandths. Okay, so I'm spoiled. It's just the nature of the knife. I mean, I thought it was going to be way thicker than that. 120 thousandths isn't too bad. It's not bad at all. It's pretty average. The behind the edge thickness is coming in at 17 thousandths. Despite being relatively thick up top, it does use a hollow grind to come down to a very narrow behind the edge. Coming in at about 450 to 460 thousandths. That's a little bit more narrow than your average, but not so that you would ever really notice unless you compared the two. And the overall height, this is where it's really killing it, is less than an inch. Most knives are at least 1.1 to 1.2 inches tall. This is going to be real damn narrow, so it's going to carry really, really well. Here it is next to your Spartan Harsey full size and your Spartan Harsey 3.25 inch. I don't know, but I might do a battle between those bottom two because they have a lot of similarities. And this is one of the few narrow ones that actually captured my heart, so we'll see. Here it is next to your XM18 3-inch and 3.5 inch. And just to be a little goofy with it, here it is next to your tactile turn Rockwall and your Reate Exo. So a price on this guy is gonna be hard to give you guys. And it's just got more expensive because I bashed my knee on the desk. All right, so the price on this thing is going to be a little bit hard to give you guys because I'm having trouble actually finding what it dropped at. It is currently selling on Arizona Custom Knives. I think they have one for $360. Does that mean this thing's worth $360 from Blade HQ? I don't know, but that's the one price I have to give for you guys. So now that's right around where Reate's come in, so it sounds about right. And what are you getting? You're getting an M390 blade steel, this hollow grind, and a kind of cool, stabby looking, stylish blade. I mean, it's not a boring blade whatsoever. With Erik Ochs label right there, or Ochs Worx. And it's a collab, so if it was $360, I mean, that's a pretty damn good price for a collab with Reate. You're getting this faux bolster milling on this side that I really shouldn't be calling faux bolster because it is an actual bolster lock. It's just not your typical, in my opinion. With this really nice carbon fiber inlay. Now, where this thing shines is, yes, the quality from Reate, there it is, it's great. But where this thing shines, yes, the action's fine too, is the actual design. This is gonna be such an easy, relatively full-size knife for you to carry, medium to medium small when it comes to full size. And it really checks a lot of boxes for me. I think the design is perfect for what it's trying to do. Ergonomically, despite being narrow, feels good. It feels decent here. And the behind the edge at 17 thousandths, despite having 120 to 125 thousandths blade stock, is pretty damn good. So for $360, can I recommend this? I think so, because this is only going to be recommendable to those people who like that stabbier look. Like if you look at this design and you're like, I want that, and I say it all the time because a lot of knives, the quality's there already. It's kind of if you want it or you don't. And this is no exception, only I think the design of this is exceptional. And that's where this shines. Ochs Worx design is just absolutely fantastic. And then the little details are very cool too, but I think the design overall is the best part of this knife.